Welcome back to Nen's Notebook LM. Today, we're going to dive deep into a hidden kingdom that's right under our feet. Seriously, it's this vast, intelligent network that might just hold the key to solving some of our planet's biggest environmental problems. We're talking about mycelium, the incredible root system of fungi. Let's get into it.
So to kick things off, I've got a question for you, one that might totally change how you look at the natural world. What do you think is the largest single living thing on our planet? Go on, take a guess. A blue whale, maybe? One of those giant redwood trees?
Well, the answer, and you might not believe this, is a fungus. Yep, there's one in Oregon that covers almost 4 square miles. And this slide just shows you the two sides of the story perfectly. On the left, you see the mycelium in a lab, in a petri dish. And on the right, that's an aerial shot of the same kind of organism creating a massive colony in a forest. It's one single individual, genetically identical, stretching for thousands of acres. Wild, right?
This enormous organism is made up of something called mycelium, which is the real body of the fungus, not the mushroom. And as you're about to see, it creates this living, breathing network that's so huge and interconnected, people have started calling it Earth's natural internet. And when you get up close, you can totally see why. Just look at it. Mycelium is this super dense web of these tiny, thread-like structures. It's always out there, exploring, growing, and branching through the soil, connecting pretty much everything it comes into contact with.
And here is where that analogy just clicks. On the left, you've got the mycelium network. On the right, that's a map of the actual internet. I mean, the resemblance is just uncanny. They're both these decentralized networks, almost identical in how they're structured, and they're both built for communication and to be incredibly resilient.
But the comparison doesn't even stop there. That same pattern, the branching, the connecting, the communicating, it's also a mirror image of the neural pathways inside the human brain. It's like nature stumbled upon this incredibly efficient design and just decided to use it everywhere, from the ground we walk on to the thoughts in our heads.
Okay, so this incredible network is all around us. But what does it actually do? Well, one of its most important jobs is to be the planet's master alchemist. It's the engine that drives all decomposition and recycles nutrients.
So the secret to its power? It comes down to these things called enzymes. These are super powerful molecules that fungi just secrete out into the world around them. See, fungi don't have stomachs like we do. They digest their food outside their bodies. They just ooze out these enzymes, dissolve their food, and then soak up all the nutrients. So let's watch how this process actually builds a whole ecosystem. It starts right here, with a fallen log on the forest floor. Now, for most living things, this is like a fortress made of wood. But for a fungus, this is a gourmet meal. The mycelial threads work their way deep into the wood, releasing those powerful enzymes to break down really tough stuff like lignin and cellulose. It's literally eating the log from the inside out, unlocking all the nutrients that were trapped inside. And the final result of this whole process is what you see right here. Rich, dark, amazing soil. That network has totally recycled a dead tree, turning it back into the basic building blocks for new life. I mean, this is the very foundation of a healthy forest. So we know fungi are masters at recycling natural stuff. But what if, and this is where things get truly mind-blowing, what if we could point that same digestive power at unnatural stuff? We can actually harness this ability to clean up some of the worst messes on the planet. It's a whole field called mycoremediation. Mycoremediation. It's a fancy word, but it just means using fungi to break down or get rid of contaminants in the environment. It means we can actually team up with these organisms to take on huge challenges, like toxic waste sites and awful oil spills. So let's look at a real-world example. These piles of soil, they are soaked with diesel and petroleum waste. They're toxic, they're lifeless, a total environmental nightmare. And trying to clean this up the old way would be insanely expensive and difficult. But then, some scientists introduced oyster mushroom mycelium to the pile. And just a few weeks later, this happened. The pile was just covered in these huge, healthy mushrooms. The mycelium didn't just survive in that toxic sludge, it feasted on it. It actively tore apart the complex hydrocarbon chains in the petroleum. I mean, just stop and think about what we're looking at here. The fungi literally ate the pollution. They didn't just move it somewhere else, they transformed a toxic hazard into mushrooms and simple, harmless compounds. The potential here for healing our industrial landscapes is just
It's enormous. So, the power of mycelium doesn't stop with just cleaning up our messes. It's also a master architect, you know? It can build and restore entire ecosystems, right from the ground up.
In any healthy forest, this is what's going on under the surface. This huge mycelial network connects right into the roots of the trees. It's a symbiotic relationship, a two-way street. The tree gives the fungus sugars, and in return, the fungus acts like a massive root extension, bringing the tree water and nutrients from all over.
But when a forest gets clear-cut, it's not just the trees that are gone. That whole essential underground network gets destroyed. The soil just falls apart and washes away. It's like the forest's internet and its entire supply chain just got completely unplugged. And that makes it incredibly hard for any new life to get started. But by actively putting native fungi and mycelium back into the soil, often with something as simple as wood chips that have been inoculated, we can actually jumpstart the whole recovery process. We can help little seedlings, like this one, plug back into that restored superhighway of nutrients and water, and that gives them a much, much better chance of survival. This power to not just clean, but to actually rebuild, it really leads us to a pretty hopeful vision for the future, a future where we partner up with this hidden kingdom. So next time you see a beautiful, healthy forest, just remember, you're only seeing half the picture. All that beauty you see above ground is just an expression of the thriving, intelligent network underneath. Mycelium gives us this powerful set of nature-based tools, a way to work with the planet's own ancient systems to heal itself. It really forces you to take a step back and think about the potential, the intelligence that's hidden in places we've almost completely ignored. And that leaves us with a pretty big question. If this world-saving network has been right here under our feet this whole time, what else are we missing? If this topic has captured your interest and you'd like to dive deeper, the book is called Mycelium Running: How Mushrooms Can Help Save the World by Paul Stamets.